Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Workbench. Dan here as always, and in this video we're going to be reviewing an exciting new product Athearn has just released, and one that I'm personally very excited about. It is the brand new Athearn Genesis GP40-2s in the lightning bolt schemes. This is a long-awaited paint scheme that many people have wanted to see, including the SP style XSP prototypes that Union Pacific owns, and Athearn Genesis has also been able to reproduce these. So what I have in this review for you guys here are two prototypes. Athearn has done, I believe, 5 numbers of each, and I'll go into more detail of this in the next clip. But I only have 2 numbers currently. It is the Union Pacific 1342, and then I have the Union Pacific 1381. So these are the 2 models I'm going to be reviewing in this video, guys. I have not unboxed these yet, so this is going to be a live unboxing, so if there are any problems or defects, you guys will see this along with me at the exact same time. So let's go ahead and get right into this exciting review. So I have these models sitting on my workbench currently, and like I said, we'll unbox them in a second. Just some quick information on these. Like I said, Athearn has released 5 of these models. They have, I believe, 2 road numbers on the X Rio Grande prototypes. They have 2 road numbers, including an RC version of the XSP prototype with the nose lights and deck-mounted ditch lights. And then they also have a low-profile ditch light version that I believe is an SSW prototype. I could be wrong. I might have to double-check that, but that's what I remember from seeing the pre-order. These sold out really fast as well, so I ended up having to buy mine second from a hobby shop. I believe I got these from Hobby Link, and I paid $161.99 per model shipped. Both the models I have here are straight DC, and I paid $161.99 per model, free shipping. From Athearn, I believe these cost $189.99, and then the DCC models cost $289.99 per model. It is a bit pricey. However, these are very nice quality models. These are Genesis quality, and the cost of the details for these locomotives have definitely gone up, and you know, to keep this kind of quality, prices have gone up quite a bit, and I know a lot of people complain about it, but if you do your shopping and looking around, you can find certain deals on these locomotives. Of course, eBay is always another place you can kind of pick these up. If you can find them pretty cheap, and you can still find them stocked up, especially some of the harder to find roads like the 1381 here in particular, or any of the other XSP prototypes, which are the most popular, if you can find those for a pretty cheap price at this point, get them while you can, because these are flying off the shelves. So I'll go ahead and open these ones up here, and we'll go ahead and start with the Union Pacific GP40-2L 1381. So here we have the standard Athearn Genesis packaging in the box with the nice exploded diagram to quickly identify the model that you're getting, which is very nice. I love this feature of these more modern Athearn boxes. Looking at the packaging itself, as we open up the top of the box, we have the standard Athearn paperwork, including your warranty. We have another information card for warranty information. And then we have the owner's manual, and these manuals always have information for setting decoder settings, and then of course you have certain instructions for operations, and then of course a parts list and such, etc. on the back. You got your subscription letter, all the standard stuff, and again here's your parts list, all good stuff. I'll go ahead and set this aside. We have a nice bit of foam to keep the top portion of the model covered, and as you can see we have the model now. As we take this out of the box carefully, I'll be sliding this out. And if we look in the box, my first overall thing to do with a Genesis model or anything like this where it has a lot of fine parts is to inspect the inside of the box to make sure there's no loose parts. And as you can see, there isn't, so that's a good sign. And I'll go ahead and set the box aside now. Nothing crazy on the packaging here. The typical clamshell style packaging for Athearn Genesis and Athearn RTR models. Very nicely packed. And if I take off the top portion here and this top lid, we should be able to reveal the model now. We'll take our plastic cover off, and we'll be able to slide the model out of the packaging. And right off the bat, I noticed something that's bothering me here, and I'll go ahead and point it out. Okay, so on closer inspection you can see the problem right off the bat. We have damaged handrails, and certain things I can tolerate with models when things maybe might be a little bit damaged. Maybe there's a detail part that came loose. It's no big deal, I can fix that. But this is where it gets a little bit more complex. This is a $161 model, and we have broken parts on it that are pretty significant. A handrail like this is not an easy thing to fix, especially slippery engineering plastic, and this is pretty badly damaged, as you can see. I mean, it's pretty bad. This is not going to be easy to fix, and that honestly kind of pisses me off. This is the problem that a lot of people have been reporting on these models, and I'm pretty disappointed, honestly, to see that mine is plagued with the same situation. Other than the rusted handrail in the front here, I can also see that the bell is skewed. If you look at that, it's completely shoved in, kind of sloppily. The horn is also bent. What I'm assuming happened here is something to do with the package. I'll have to inspect that a little bit, but the packaging might have pushed down on that, and I'm assuming it's the same situation with the handrail as well here, but that's not a good sign to start this review off on, unfortunately. Looking at the back, I don't see any damage. Quick assessment on the sides, I don't see anything. I do see that we just lost a windshield wiper too. Again, that's a more common thing you see on these Athearn Genesis models. These windshield wipers are not glued in, so they pop in often. They will pop out of those holes quite often. That's an easy fix. I'm not too worried about that. We'll just set that part aside and I can reinstall it later. The issue here is the handrail. That's a major problem. That is damaged. So I am going to have to point that out right away on this model, that the handrail is damaged, and that does sort of affect the review here. The other thing I just noticed is that this top portion of the number board housing is loose. Check this out. This is weird. See how it's loose and crooked like that? That's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. So right then and there, I'm gonna have to do some fixing on that. I'm not exactly too thrilled about that, to be honest with you guys. Okay, so we have found some problems on this model, and there you go. I've pointed them out right off the bat. So what I'm gonna do, I'll assess the situation here, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later. Right now, we'll just continue to kind of move on with this review here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this model over to the layout, and we'll inspect it in full. So other than the damage pointed out on the front here and on the top, we have the standard bit of really nice Athearn Genesis quality detailing. We have all of the separately applied parts like MU cables, air hoses. We have a McHenry coupler. We have the separately applied coupler lift bars. We have the anti-climber mounted ditch lights. This is an SP style feature. We have all of the very nice details on the nose, including the really nicely done SP style light package and cluster that's been blanked over as of prototype photos. On the sides, we have the correct style of SP cabinet doors. This is an SP feature. This is a thing that they did with their doors, and Athearn has done a very nice job representing this detail on the model. I'm very happy to see that. On the sides here, we have very, very clean, crisp painting and imprinting, and we have all of the separate warning labels that are very nicely done, as you can see. On the sides here, the numbering and everything, the Union Pacific logo, everything looks very, very nice. The grills and everything on the sides are very nicely done. They have plenty of depth to them. We have the correct SP style jack pads, and we have tread plate detail on the walkways. On the underbody of the model, we have the very nicely done Blomberg Type B trucks with the separately applied detail parts and sanding lines installed. We have the fuel tank, which is fully detailed as of prototype photos. Everything matches up very well. And we have all of the separately applied piping and everything. Very nice. On the rear hood of this model, we have the really nice separately applied grab irons. All the printing is very nice on the numbers and the stripe, and everything around the entire model is very, very well done. There's no separation lines. Everything is very clean and crisp. I absolutely love the SP light cluster here that's been plated over. It's a very nice touch. We have separately applied MU cables, air hoses, working ditch lights, coupler lift bars, and we have the spare knuckle holders and then a McHenry coupler on the end here. As we look at the engineer side of the model, we have a wealth of nice separately applied details. All the nice fuel tank details are applied. The truck details are very nice. We have the speed recorder on the truck here, which is in the correct location as of prototype photos. All the printing and painting is very crisp and clean. We have the operating cab windows, a full cab interior. We have the correct sunshade, rear view mirror, printing, the correct battery box style, hatches on the sides here, separately applied grab irons, all very nice. I do have to point out a little bit more damage, unfortunately. On this side, you can see the stanchion leading up to the cab is bent, and then the handrail leading up to the cab is pretty badly warped here. I'm not sure what happened here. It looks like it got crushed, but this is again something I'm going to have to fix, and it is unfortunate. Looking at the top of the model real quick, we have the really nice Genesis style radiator and dynamic brake fans that are completely see-through. We have all of the separately applied details like hatches. We have the lift rings, hand grabs. On the cab roof, we have the correct style of AC unit, GPS dome, antenna. We have the conduit running to the SP style antenna on the back of the air duct room here. And we have the separately applied horn on the stand, and then the SP style bell. And then the gyro light and the number board assembly here, which looks very nice. Unfortunately, this is damaged. I'm going to have to repair this. Again, something I pointed out earlier. Another piece that is damaged, unfortunately, on this model are the two radiator fans in the back. You can see one of the grills is smashed in, and again, this is something I'm going to have to repair. This grill is starting to pop up as well, so again, I'm assuming this damage here happened during shipping. But it is unfortunate, and it is more damage I'm going to have to point out. The model runs very well on straight DC power, both reverse and forward, and it of course runs very quietly. That's a nice feature of these Genesis models. Like I said, this is straight DC, so I do have to crank the throttle all the way to get the lighting to work properly. And as you can see, the bulbs all do still light, so there is no damage to the bulbs internally, which is good. I do wish that they were a little bit brighter, though. That's my only little gripe about that. Of course, if you have DCC, you can completely control the lighting. And I know a couple people have played with resistors, and you can adjust the light settings to make them a little bit brighter. But this is straight DC, so I forgive that. So as you can see, the model looks very nice and runs very, very well. Aside from the damage, it's a very nice model, and I really like it. I'm glad to finally see a prototype like this come to the market. I've been waiting to see an XSP lightning bolt G40 come to the market for quite some time, so I'm happy to own this model. As I said before, though, it does have damage, and it is something I'm going to have to address. And for the price point on this model, I really don't think we should be dealing with stuff like this. I can forgive missing grab irons and stuff like that, but to have completely damaged handrails, missing pieces, and stuff like that, and the insane amount of damage that I'm seeing on this model, it's not exceptional. It's not, I can't forgive that, and that does kind of bother me here. Aside from the damage, though, like I said, it is a very nice model, and it runs very well, and for me, this damage is fixable. I'm not going to return this model, but I understand people who do want to return these models, because I don't want to have to accept models that are damaged. I mean, you're paying $161. I mean, God, if you're paying for a straight DCC model, you're paying almost $290. That's almost $300. That's a lot of money. And to be getting this kind of a model for that much money, you shouldn't have to have this kind of damage, and I am a little bit disappointed about that. That's all I'm going to say for the moment. We'll go ahead and move on to the next locomotive.